All right, welcome back to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Think Kramer with Brian and Brandon, and we are talking The Boys, episode 1, 2, and 3 of season 3. So, oh boy, yeah. So if you're joining us live, we would love to hear your thoughts live. If you're watching on replay, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. We love to hear what you guys think about the episodes and movies that we are talking about. But yeah, let's just get into initial thoughts, feelings, vomits. Oh my god, man. Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
I don't even know where to begin, dude. So one thing that I will say, holy crap. One thing that I will say about The Boys is, I'm used to it hitting the ground running, like right out the gate, right out the woodwork. Every season, it's hit the ground running. There's always been something shocking that's happened. The
something
very, very,
every
very
5 minutes.
Shock value. Every 5 minutes, something.
Yeah,
but I didn't expect them to go like Usain Bolt on crack. I think that's the most apt way that I can describe where how they hit it hard right out the woodwork with this season. That shit was crazy, dude. But yeah, and I like that. I very much like where the where we see the characters, like the core characters, like Huey and Billy and Mother's Milk, Frenchie. I like where we see them and how they all kind of come back together. The losing battle that Huey kind of finds himself in that draws him back into the fold. So there were it felt very organic in that regard. And then Homelander, just holy shit.
Yeah.
How he's just coming apart more and more at the seams with each episode, and now we see him kind of lose a level of power to like gain a level of power. And Anthony Starr is just so great in the role, like so much so that even though I know it's a fictional character he plays, I'd probably be a little creeped out to be in the same room as him, and I probably do whatever I could to stay on his good side or be cool with him. But I really liked that, and I'm still as invested as ever in the characters, especially like Starlight in particular. I kind of found myself, empathizing with her in particular, considering how much of the ringer that she's going through and probably will go through during the duration of this season. And I liked some of the backstory with characters like Black Noir. They kind of changed up his comic backstory, which I think kind of works. I'm really finding this show one of the occasions where the adaptations a lot. I'm liking it a lot more than the source material that it's based on.
Yeah. I haven't read too much of it, but yeah, but I heard that from a lot of people that it's kind of becoming its own thing, and it's becoming almost better.
Yeah, and I kind of like that I don't know if you could call it like a dichotomy or like symbiotic relationship between Homelander and Billy Butcher.
Yep, Butcher.
Yeah, it's weird how there's like a mutual level of respect, and Homelander, just kind of based on their conversation in Butcher's apartment. I think like to Homelander, like Butcher's the closest thing he has to a friend.
Yeah,
and a nemesis. And a nemesis. He's like his Lex Luthor to him. That's what it seemed like to me.
Totally. Yeah.
Like they need each other to survive almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Batman, Joker, Superman, Lex Luthor.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it reminds me of that line in The Dark Knight. I think you and I are destined to just do this forever.
Yeah.
Or you go ahead and take this. I've been taking I've been taking the second time every single time. So go ahead, you go this time.
No, it's all good. No, oh man, yeah. I mean, it's season 3 starts off like you said, like just hits the ground and it goes like lightning speed. Man, I mean,
freaking termite.
I even wrote down notes and I don't even have it because it was just like so much. Because I just in the first couple episodes, Butcher, you see a different version of Butcher. Huey's finally kind of got things going well for him.
Yeah.
And then it all just kind of like goes to shit. I mean, and I think people like they're like, oh, it's such a great show because of all like the explosions and exploding parts and this and that. I'm like, this so far. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of that still, but it's also like the characters are just so well developed. You know what I mean? That like you want the bad guy to get punched more and more and more. Like every time Homelander says, who can stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I was like, damn it, Butcher, stop him. I was like, you gotta do it, It's like, but then Butcher's being a jackass, and you're like, oh, somebody needs to punch him too, So it's just a really like interesting like vibe with it all. And I really, really like Homelander this season because he's not just before he's like obviously literally untouchable. He could do whatever he wants because no one can stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Stan Edgar, who has no powers and just an old man. And I was like, that's awesome. But now Homelander is even more scarier in this season for me is because he knows how he's playing the game. So he's just not like this strong guy bashing the wall and stuff like this. I was like, he knows how the game works and he's playing it. And that makes him even more scarier than just being untouchable. It's like, oh shit, he knows what to say and do to get what he wants besides just, killing somebody, which it just makes it even more scary. But I just like, he's picking on A-Train the entire time, calling him a little fatty, which is just, I'm like, what? He was like poking him. Like, oh, I see your girl, you fat ass. So it's like, Jesus, it's really interesting. Mother's Milk, we finally got his name, Marvin. And got a little bit more of his backstory. Frenchie is getting a lot of time. The Deep is still in it for some reason. I don't know about you guys, but I never felt sad for an octopus. That sad for an octopus as much as I did in episode 3.
Yeah,
I was just like,
he's praying.
I have kids.
Yeah. Oh man, it was like a little hard to watch because like it was like I don't know, like he was saying it for him, which made it even worse almost in a sense because he's the one that's gonna do it. It was just like, damn, and yeah. But I want more Soldier Boy. I want more Jensen Ackles. I want more Dean being an asshole. Like that's what I want. Give it,
man.
But yeah, I so far. I'm loving this season. I don't know how they were able to top themselves from season 1 and then season 2 and now season 3 off to a great start. I really love it. So
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
Yeah.
This season I feel like was all about relationships and how everyone's intertwined. And what they're doing is they're creating this web of relationships. No matter if it's Victoria and Stan, Victoria and Huey, Homelander, Stormfront, Starlight, Huey, Homelander and Butcher, Mother's Milk and his wife. I mean, just Mother's Milk and Butcher. I mean, it's just creating all these web. Frenchie. I mean, they're all connected, and I think what's going to happen is you're going to pull at one string, and it's all going to come apart, and that's what we're going to see. But first, what they're doing is they're creating this tapestry of how everything is woven into each other. You can't just kill one. You can't just kill Homelander because it's going to be a domino effect, especially when they bring Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy in. That's going to change all the dynamics, and it's going to basically take the tapestry and burn it to shreds. And the 7 won't be in power anymore. Can you imagine that? Mm-hmm. The 7 no longer being the ones in power. I mean, I just think that they've done such a good job of developing all these relationships everywhere, and how close they are to almost always falling apart, but how they're needed for each other. You know, so that's what when you guys were talking about the Homelander Butcher thing, I thought that was incredible because Butcher gets to see Homelander's son anytime he wants. You know, and he's had that relationship, and then Homelander doesn't know that, but he knows that he knows where his son is, and so that they have that dynamic. That they also have the wife dynamic, and then they also have the superhero dynamic, and it's all interwoven. And you know, I'm just using that one relationship and how it really goes. I mean, can Butcher kill Homelander and tell the boy, "I killed your father"? Like, how will he react to that? Because you don't know what he's going to turn into. And is Butcher the right person to be around that little boy, that little kid? Because Butcher is going to enrage everybody. You know, just that's what he does.
Yeah, but Butcher is like the ultimate anti-hero, and he'll go off the rails unless somebody's there to reel him in. You know, so you know, the boys coming back together, Huey, Mother's Milk, Frenchie. What's the
Kimiko?
Kimiko. Yeah. So them all being together is probably the best thing for the sake of Butcher and you know, kind of keeping him from going completely over the edge. You saw what he did to Gunpowder when nobody else was around.
Exactly. Yeah. Or he did to Termite.
That was awesome. Well, it's also what he didn't do to Termite. Like, he didn't kill him.
Yeah,
which was very un-Butcher-ish. Yeah. You know. But then he doubles down on the next one.
And then so now, how can Butcher be with the boys with them anyway? Now he has a taste of superpowers. How would Mother's Milk look at him?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
How can he follow him knowing that he did that? He had those superpowers, the same as Homelander. You know, how? I mean, I don't know how Soldier Boy is going to be introduced. How's that's going to deal with Mother's Milk? I mean, that's going to be huge. When he finds out he's alive.
Yeah.
Right.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah. That's man. And I didn't even know about the whole with Mother's Milk with that. It's this weird
kill my family
now because
Marvin,
you know, like Marvin. It just took his whole family and he's got like sucked back in instantly, you know, with it, you know. But like you said, it's just a tapestry where it's just like everything is so tightly, you know, knitted together, and it's gonna be one thing, and then that's it, like that's it. But I'm so in for it. You know, I think Butcher with powers is gonna be super. Also, Ryan knew. He's like, you smell different. Your blood smells different. I was like, damn, he's got those powers.
Yep. I can smell. I feel your heart beating faster. I know all of it.
That I was like, damn. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. He knew right off the bat too. As soon as he got out of the car, he's like, what's wrong? He's like, oh, nothing. I'm good. He's like, I was like, damn. But I'm really curious to know about Ryan. Like, really curious, like what's gonna happen with him.
Does Butcher create another Homelander with his relationship? You know, if you have to depend on Butcher being your father, come on, you know you're doomed. Like,
he was doing good in the first episode, and then
about 15 minutes, and then that's all you got. Butcher something, huh?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But I'm looking at the cast right now. You know, his last name is Butcher too. So the little boy's last name is
because of the mother.
Butcher. Because the mother,
because her name.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. So I was like, damn, he's legit going to be the two guys that we said in a few minutes ago that like they're always going to be at odds. He's a combination of both. So it was like, shit, like, I really don't know what he's going to turn into, you know? So that's going to be really interesting.
Did anyone catch the other guy from Supernatural, Jim Beaver, whatever? They named him Bobby. Robert Singer. Well, they named him Bobby. I was like, what? You named him Bobby? Really? I was like, I was sitting like looking like, did anyone else catch this? Bobby Singer is in the show with Jensen Ackles. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. Did he show up last season? I don't remember. I don't remember if he did or not. I think he did.
Yeah, he's been in a couple times. Been in a couple times since 2019. So
the cameos really get obviously with Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah.
I think the cameo last season that really got me is when Chris Hansen from The Catch Up Predator showed up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, we also got Billy Zane. Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Yeah.
Billy Zane being Billy Zane.
Yeah.
In somewhere in the multiverse, he was Lex Luthor. You know?
Oh, 100%. But yeah, man, it's just even I forgot Simon Pegg was Huey's dad.
Huey's dad,
he did that on the phone. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
He's like, back up from the phone, looking like Fredo, like right there.
Yeah. What'd you say?
So back up, Dad.
Yeah.
What did you think about Stormfront? The whole Stormfront when she died. How Homelander did, man. So she bit her own tongue till she died because of Homelander.
$1 million baby at herself, like Ashley said.
Ooh, yeah.
That's her name, Ashley, the publicist, right?
Ashley. Yeah.
Well, on one hand, she was a Nazi, so
one hand.
Yeah, one hand, and I totally did, and I totally did intend that pun, by the way. It was kind of funny seeing the state that she was in. I got no love for Stormfront. She was pure evil.
Yeah,
I got no love for her. So to see her in the state that she was in was kind of satisfying.
Yeah, but Homelander just doesn't deserve to keep on going. Like, man, he's just and that's what I found really interesting about Homelander. The more terrible of a person he is, the more people accept him, and the more people are radicalizing around him, and that seems almost too realistic. It's just how you can radicalize yourself. You try to hide who you are. I want people to love me. And then instead, you radicalize yourself and realize people love you more. Mm-hmm. There are more people that want you to fall apart and do all these crazy things because they think these crazy things too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because they did the whole. There's a lot of real world shit going on, either funny or serious. Because there's the whole. They did the Snyder cut in the very beginning, with the release the 7, hashtag 7 cut or whatever they called it. But also they did like the Charlottesville kind of thing, but instead of calling it whatever they call them like the Storm Chasers, which I was like, so it's just like legit. They're taking so much of like real world, even like the reality show, the American Hero kind of thing. It was just The Bachelor, but with that. So
heroes, yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah. So that was like kind of like really kind of like crazy, just how they're tying real world stuff to this fake stuff, and it makes you kind of question things a little bit more. Yeah. But but one thing with Storm Chaser was as she's there, melted and barely breathing, she tells like Homelander, she goes, "Oh, no one suffers like how you suffer." I was like, as she's like, I was like, that's how crazy she is, because she truly believes he's like. Well, that was another thing. That whole scene that kind of really sets up the whole Homelander for the season, I think, is because she's a Nazi, so she's like, "Oh, you're the perfect race," says that shit, and that pissed off Homelander. He goes, "No, fuck that.
No, goes, perfect Aryan race. I am perfect. Perfect
and I'm
race.
Like, oh man,
just me."
And that kind of like kind of throws it on its head. Is like, he's like, "No, fuck that." He goes, "Screw that. Screw all this crazy stuff." He goes, "I'm perfect. Me. It's like that's how crazy Homelander is.
And he's gotten so strong now that he no longer has anyone Starlight to hold him down. He's like, fuck it. I'll just do it. I'll just go crazy and kill everybody. I'll go Brightburn on everybody. Who cares? Whatever. But it's going to be such a mind fuck. I hate to say that, but when Soldier Boy comes in.
Yeah.
And Soldier Boy is going to make him feel so small because it's finally someone who's strong enough to take him on.
Yep.
And more popular.
And more
Probably
popular.
more popular. He's this
He's
legendary hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be super interesting.
Homelander's gonna completely lose his shit.
But he has to keep it together because what if the Seven lose their popularity? You know, because that's a rival company. That's a rival group. So they can lose their popularity. Stan's going to be all over them, man. You know, even though he doesn't want to deal with superheroes anymore, he still needs about 4 or 5 more years to turn to a pharmaceutical company because that's where the real power is.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
so
funny.
I mean, but and then that relationship between Stan and Victoria, blew my mind. I was like, who's walking down the stairs? It's Stan. Damn.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Giancarlo Esposito is so freaking good in this series. It's just like like the whole thing with in the theater, and he's like telling Homelander blah blah blah. He goes, but hey, it's your party, you can cry if you want to. I lost it. I was like that's it, man. That's like the badass award, because it was like everyone's afraid of Homelander except for this one man who has no powers except for being in charge of the company that gives out the powers. It's just,
but no one knows he actually does have powers, because Victoria could come in and when she blows up Homelander's head. She's it. So.
You know, but his power is having powerful people around him.
Yeah,
you know?
So
his influence.
You know, that scene, the dialogue between him and Homelander season 2, when he's talking about you're not our most valuable asset. You know, that was a standout scene of season 2 for me.
Yeah.
And Giancarlo Esposito just fucking brings it. Like, he's so good in the role. Like, he can say so much with just like his silent gaze or his silent stare. He doesn't even have to say a whole lot. It's in his mannerisms, his posture, you know, like the way he looks at you. Like he's easily one of the standouts of the show for me. And it's very nuanced and almost kind of like an understated role, but like he just makes the most of it. He does so good. Like he's such a just an ultimate beast of an actor.
What do you think is going to happen with this Starlight and Homelander thing? How you think?
Oh, God.
I want to know what's going to happen with that. How is Huey going to react? How is Butcher going to react to this?
Well, Huey's gonna reap what he sows.
Yeah, he told her to stay. She's like, I want to run. He's like, that's what you get, bitch.
yeah. Like he told her to stay to buy them some time. That's gonna come back in some way, shape, or form to bite him. So basically, whatever, because it's not gonna turn out good. But whatever happens, Huey hasn't come into him, you know, to basically use her as a pawn. Or you know,
but to ask her to stay, it's going to push her right into the arms of Supersonic. Just wait.
And you know, like that's what I meant when I said she's being put through the ringer, and it was a nice way of the way they brought that episode 3 full circle with her kind of like clenching her fist behind her hands while having to kiss him. You know that, She's gonna either run into the arms of Supersonic, or she's just gonna be like screw this, I can't do this anymore. Something. But
she's too much of a main character, and Supersonic is there, and now the Deep is now part of 7 again. He has nowhere to go for any relief, and Huey can't be that person for her anymore, because you know what he's done to her, keep her there in her worst nightmare. So the only person she can relate to and talk to is Supersonic.
Supersonic, you know, and I kind of felt like that from the second that he decided to stay. to get her to have her back.
Yep. So what Huey used to do and no longer is doing. He's now about well Butcher needs this, so
like
this
the
is
mission. Yeah.
Instead of
I mean, I get why he's doing it, because he's like, I need to kill Homelander to have her truly be free, but I mean, at the sacrifice of losing her, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So do you? I think because this show is not meant for good guys to win. I think Supersonic made a deal with. No. I think he made a deal with Homelander.
Ooh.
Because he already saw how crazy Homelander was before Starlight told him. He goes, something's wrong with Homelander. Because remember when you told him like the very sexual, nasty thing, because they used to be boyfriend girlfriend. So, and even Super Saiyan's like, what? I think he's like, hey, I need you. I'm gonna control her on the media, but I need you to control her off screen. And I think that's what's gonna happen. And then I think Homelander's like, oh, then you'll be safe. I'll make sure you're safe.
And then she breaks up with Huey next episode, and then she's confiding into Supersonic, and then she finds out that he's been using her too, and she just feels like a piece of crap.
Yeah. I think, I know we're not into wild speculations, but I can see Supersonic doing something like that, because I mean this shows how shitty people with power, either superpowers or political power, how they all are. They're just shitty people. And I think that's going to show with Butcher. He's already kind of one foot out the door with being a horrible person. But I think with him getting the powers, he's going to go full on out like kind of thing. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he loses all of them though. I think Huey runs back to Starlight after Starlight goes to her thing, whatever. He runs back to her. I think Mother's Milk goes back home to his daughter, and it's just Butcher versus Homelander.
Yeah.
Versus Soldier Boy. I think Soldier Boy is going to play a big role in this.
I can see that. I can really see that.
The
only difference is Butcher's only got 2 more vials of the temporary stuff. So see how that works out.
He can always get some more.
I mean, can he? I mean, it's like what, $2 million a pop, and we haven't even seen was there Maven? What was her name?
Yeah,
Queen Maeve. Yeah,
like a half episode, if that, and that was it. We haven't seen her since.
But that's what I'm saying. That you can always go to her because obviously they have a relationship now too. Queen Maeve and Butcher. So he always say, "I need more to be able to fight this," and she gives him like, "I only give you 3 more. Sorry, that's all I can do."
Yeah.
So he has a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, interesting. I'm so like, even between the relationship between Huey and Butcher was like, Butcher was acting good because his Jiminy Cricket Huey was happy and telling him to play nice. Everything's gonna be fine. We're winning for once. But then as soon as Huey was like, "You're right. We have to do it your way."
It was so funny because he was on his way. But Butcher was ready to give up. He was ready to say, "All right, I'm done with this." And Huey just, because he's a little bit, he has too much bitch assness in him. He just allows that to take over just because he's like, "Oh, it's all about me. I'm soft. I'm the one doing this." Stop feeling sorry for yourself and fix the problem. Mm-hmm. Use the fact that you're asking Starlight to stay there in the 7. Why wouldn't you stay next to Victoria and keep eyes and keep in contact with her? It's such a one-way street with him, and that's why I don't think that he can be with Starlight long term, because he's too much. It's only one-way street with him. He only sees the bad in everybody else and doesn't see the bad he's doing in himself.
Like it's always justified for him. Like it's always,
I had to do this because, so you need to do this because, but not what's really going on.
Yeah, that's interesting. I can see that. But also, like you said, you brought up Huey like being a little, punk baby. I don't want to say that, but yeah, he went from being like badass in some parts to being like a big
soft in others.
Soft. Yeah. Where it was like he walked in and it was like, you need to break my arm. You know, it was like, damn. Even all the other guys were looking at him like, okay. And then Frenchie's like, all right, here's some medicine to help with the pain. He's like, I can't. You know, they're gonna drug test. I was like, damn. And I think he got some respect from all the guys because they're like, oh, he's grown up. Like he's big. But then he does stupid things.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, afraid his girlfriend's gonna like go back to her ex, you know, kind of thing. It was like, dude, come on.
Like, dude, you have to trust her. There's nothing you can do about it. First of all, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So just live your life. Just enjoy your life, what you got. You can't stop her. She can kick your butt. Just deal with it.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's definitely changed a lot. But, one thing I didn't want to bring up was A-Train. What do you think is going on with his story? Because he's got a major character arc. He went from being an asshole druggie to, you know,
no, he's still an asshole. He's still an asshole. Yeah, but he's not he can't run. Also, that's the other thing. He can't run anymore. So if he runs, he could have a heart attack at any point in time. I think he does something to save somebody else unexpectedly. Try to be his redemption. You know, maybe even his nephew.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's his redemption arc.
Like as he dies.
Yeah, it can happen next episode, which opens up another spot in the 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
That could be filled by who? Soldier Boy. Instead of being on the opposite one, because the rest of this team is pretty much dead. They bring Soldier Boy back to the 7.
That'd be interesting. I don't know. I just want more Jensen Ackles. Like we haven't got anything new. Everything has been a flashback so far.
Yeah.
But yeah. How'd you guys like the whole flashback story? How'd you guys feel about that?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and of course, that fly thing kept on going flying, giving up our position, and he tries to fly away again. Of course, they hit him with a missile.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I like that they took like a real life kind of thing with the whole what was it, the Contras and then the Russians and this and that, like Ollie North and all that stuff, and the whole I don't know what you want to call it, but like them pushing drugs in minority communities and stuff like that.
Everyone's heard about, and we've all talked about the crack in the 80s and how they put it in the minority and urban environments to destabilize them. And that's just, you know, we all thought you heard it. And then the fact that she's like, yeah, this is exactly what the initiative was.
Yeah. It was like, sell the crack to the minorities and then use that money to fund the war. I was like, damn. I'm like, it makes so much sense. Like,
it's exactly what happened in the Reagan era.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I thought that was like, again, like taking real world stuff, but slapping on like these superhero dummies, you know, in it. You know, that was like really like interesting. What'd you guys think about you finally get to see Black Noir like without a mask and talking and stuff in one of the flashbacks.
Yep. I was
like I said, that
wasn't what I saw in the comics, but that was cool.
Yeah, it was an interesting change of pace from the comics. But I'm fine with it. I'm happy with it.
What was in the comics? Yeah.
He was a clone of Homelander. Oh. He was a clone of Homelander.
Yep.
Shit. Okay. That way he couldn't talk, or he just chose not to talk, or they like ripped out his tongue or something stupid.
Oh no, he could talk.
I thought that he didn't say anything. Yeah, he just
chose not to speak.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's interesting. Or they didn't go that route. Which could be changed too, because maybe there's been multiple versions of Black Noir. You know, maybe that's that version. You know, did that one die and they just replaced it with another? Because it's a dude in a helmet, so you can literally put anybody under there who you think.
Yeah.
Maybe it's trying to trick you. Like, oh, you thought it was him, but now it really is the clone. I mean, they could do something like that.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could do, but I mean, you have to have someone as an adult that could go back into that suit again and have all the same skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So, was he related to Stan Edgar, or like, because they were talking like they're like really good friends,
Yeah,
and I
they
haven't
were. They were.
seen many people talk to Stan like that.
Yeah, they were. They were very chummy. Like, I kind of even asked myself if they were related, if they were siblings.
Mm.
It kind of seemed. It seemed a little vague to me, but yeah, I'm not sure. I had kind of gotten the vibe that they were related, or in some way, shape.
that they're related, and that Black Noir even right now is just his Stan's inside man, basically. That's all he is right now, and that's why he doesn't talk. He just listens and he relates everything back to Stan. That's why Stan knows what's going on, even in these secret meetings of the Seven. He knows exactly what's going on, so he always has his hands in everything.
It's Stan is a very interesting character. I know from the little bit that I know of the comic book, he was a very interesting character in the comic book as well. But here, Giancarlo, man, is just he's
so
killing
good.
it. He's so freaking good. So freaking good. He just plays like an evil bad guy so well, but like this style of evil bad guy, where
complex, and that's what is awesome about this whole. The whole show is complex.
Yeah.
So it was definitely. I saw somebody else talking about it, and they brought up an article. I can't remember from where, but they were like, this show went from being a parody of like superheroes to becoming like its own thing that is probably more entertaining than some of the MCU right now. Just because you're able to get into territory that the MCU will never,
like
ever,
termite.
Yeah.
It's and the comic was for the most part, and the comics are good, but they were kind of like mostly for the element of shock value. And one reason that I think the show completely trumps the graphic novels is it decided to go for more complexity. It kind of took the high road rather than just shock value. Oh, look how many times we can use the F-bomb. Look how much graphic sex, look how much graphic blood. There's more to it than that, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. I know we've been going on for a little while. Is there anything else that you guys really want to talk about with this one, or something we missed?
Only thing I wanted to ask you. So where are we going next?
Oof.
Do you have any idea?
Yeah,
for me, I just think it's going to be a giant showdown between Butcher and Homelander.
Yeah, that's pretty much inevitable. There's so much possibility and so many ways they can go, so many different directions this particular narrative with this season could go. I'm not even sure, man. I'm not even sure how I can answer that, or if I can answer that.
I think so. I think Homelander does go off the deep end, and I say Homelander leaves the Seven. So it's not just. So I think it's going to be the Seven against Homelander and Butcher.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's going to be like 3 different entities fighting in some like World War III, basically.
Mm-hmm.
With Soldier Boy leading the Seven. I can see Starlight leaving the Seven, and then fighting on Butcher's side with Huey and all that stuff again. Even though they're not be together anymore, but they'll still be the ones together. Like doing it, fighting together.
Yeah.
So the people from Butcher's group, Homelander, and then the rest of the superheroes from the Seven, all fighting each other.
I agree, especially about Starlight. There's only so much further she can be pushed at this point before she just finally decides she's had enough.
And I think Victoria joins Butcher one day.
I can see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that's really easy to or not easy, but she can easily see that Stan is using her.
Yep.
So I think she'll get out of the like, oh, you don't really love me. You just love me
To
for my
manipulate
powers
me.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. I can see that. Yeah, it's gonna be Homelander versus the boys versus the Seven, or versus Vought. I wouldn't even say the
Oh,
Seven. I
Vought.
would say Vought
Exactly.
at that
Yep.
point, because it's just gonna be like all the Vought people. And Vought, man, Amazon's doing such a good job at like making Vought kind of be a real thing in the world, like in our world, in the real world, with all these like stupid trailers and stuff. Also, the shameless plug in the very first episode when Butcher is shopping on Amazon, I think. I was like,
Oh man, that's awesome. Like
yeah,
checkers. And it's there as soon as I need it. Thanks, Amazon.
yeah. I'm just waiting for that, or waiting for that to show up. But cool. Yeah, we've been going on for a while. Over 2 hours. So, cool. Yeah. So I mean, obviously this one was gonna be a big one because we had a lot of episodes and stuff to talk about, and we started a little bit later than usual, but it's all good. But cool. If you're watching on replay, appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let us know how you like The Boys season 3 so far. Friday the 10th, the new episode comes out. So next week Wednesday we're gonna talk about it.
It's so hard only give us one episode after you gave us 3. That's just so hard.
I know.
And we've gotten so spoiled by streaming services just dumping the entire season in one so we can binge watch it. In the case of this show, I really wish they'd just bring that back.
Just do it all at once. I know.
We still got Jurassic Park to watch this weekend, so I mean, hey.
Yeah. So make sure you guys subscribe and check out. We're gonna do Jurassic World Dominion on this upcoming Monday, and then next week we're doing Kenobi again, Miss Marvel, and another Boys, but one of each at least.
And we don't need a separate day just for Stranger Things. Tank.
Yeah, just
we're definitely gonna need that. We're definitely gonna need that.
we'll get that. We'll get that soon. We'll get that definitely before part 2 comes out. Definitely before part 2 comes out. But cool. Yeah, we appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Make sure you leave a comment. But let's get out of here, man. We appreciate everybody, and we'll see you guys next week. Later.
See you guys.
See ya.